Hello everybody, thanks for tuning back into our channel. Today we're going to be talking about this LS 573. We're going to be taking a walk around the tractor this morning. We told you guys there would be a series on this tractor. We're going to review this tractor. Stick with us as we get started. Okay, let's talk about this loader. All right, first off, this loader has a lift capacity of 3,626 pounds. It has a breakout force of 6,644 pounds. It has a 7-inch digging depth. The loader itself weighs somewhere in the neighborhood, I think it's 1232, and so it's a fairly stout loader. It does have a 78-inch bucket, as you can see right here, and then it is a self-leveling loader. Basically, what that means is that if I get a load of dirt and the bucket is in this position, for example, and as I raise this loader up, this bucket will stay in that position. It will not move from that position as I go all the way up to the top. If you'll take a look here, I do have the third function on this loader. The hoses did not come standard on this loader, but the third function valve did. Let's go back and take a look at the third function valve. So the third function valve basically is under this door right here. This is the third function valve. This valve came standard on this loader. This is a fairly expensive part if you were to have to buy it as an option. And on many of the tractors that I looked at, that was an option that you would have to buy. Now, they did have the integrated, a lot of them did have the integrated loader joystick. This one came with the loader joystick, and we're going to take a look at that real quick just so you can see it. The two buttons on the front of that joystick are where the loader is the third function. That was standard. It's integrated in there. It looks really good. It's not an add-on, and so LS put that on there as a standard feature. The last thing before we get off the loader itself is to show you that it does come off the tractor. This here's your disconnect for it. It does have the stands just like most loaders do. You can take this loader off the tractor and get it out of your way if you need to do some brush hogging or maybe some hay work or something without the loader on it. Now, when it comes to the loader frame, if you'll notice, this loader frame attaches up here close to the front, and it runs the entire length of the tractor to the back rear axles. So the loader frame is attached to most of the tractor in itself. Therefore, it distributes the load of the load, I guess you could say, of pushing force and the lifting force and all that to the entire tractor and not just to the middle of the tractor, which I have seen some tractors do. All right, so we're going to move up here to the front. We got the loader out of the way. They did come with this bumper on it. This is a great feature to have on any tractor. The only thing I do wish is that they would have put a screen on the front of it, sometime expanded metal or something. That kind of helps keep debris and other things from getting up in here while you're doing loader work, brush work, moving brush around and so forth. Let's go open this hood up and take a look at that. Down here at the bottom of the hood here, you'll see a button. What we're going to do is we're going to push that button. It's on struts, and the hood will lift on its own. So one of the things I want to say about the hood itself, it is a metal hood. And there were some tractors we looked at that did not have metal steel hoods on them. It is braced up fairly decent, and sometimes this section of a hood will break because of the way the latch is attached to a plastic piece, which I believe this is a plastic piece right here. But they braced it up, and that keeps that from happening. Let's get under here and let's take a look at the engine now. All right, so this is a 152.9 cubic inch engine. It is turbocharged. It is a 4-cylinder LS motor. LS builds this motor. It produces 73 horsepower. It transfers that horsepower back to the PTO, about 62 horsepower. It's at 2,500 RPM. This motor is made it into a transmission of 20 forward and 20 reverse power shuttle transmission. It has 3 ranges. It has a low, medium, and high range on the transmission, and then it has 4 gears for the normal use. That will give you 12 speeds by itself. But it also has a creeper gear in it, and that creeper gear you can use in the low and medium range. That, with the low and medium range, adding another, another set of gears to this tractor, you come up with 20 speeds, 20 forward, 20 reverse. So we're going to move underneath the front of the tractor for just a moment. We're going to mention this front axle on this tractor. If you'll notice, this is a Carrera axle. This is not a cheap axle. And so I think it's worthy mentioning that. So, they don't put these axles on cheap tractors, in my opinion. So some of your larger construction equipment may have this type of axle under it. Okay, moving on around to the fuel tank over here. The fuel tank is a 26.4 gallon fuel tank. It has a locking cap on it, which is good if you're leaving your tractor out in the field or somewhere. It does have a locking cap on it. This is a plastic tank. It does have a metal bottom on it for, I guess, to keep things from puncturing it. I do wish that it was completely encased, though, in steel, only because if you're doing brush work or you're out, doing cleaning up brush and so forth, you could get something that could puncture this tank. Now, getting up into the cab, I want you to look at these steps right here. These steps are not cheap made. They have a decent heavy gauge steel. They don't bend whenever you step on them. Look, guys, you see me. I'm a big guy. When I step up into this tractor, I had other steps on other tractors that would flex a little bit. These steps don't flex, and I like that. They also have an angle to them, a little bit more angle to them. That's important whenever you're getting in and out of the tractor. If they're straight up and down, you're likely to trip and fall, and that's not going to feel good. So opening up the cab here, you can see there are doors on both sides, both passenger and the driver's side, where you would mount the tractor. That having that second door on that passenger side of that tractor is to me is a must. I mean, because you're trying to work on this side of the passenger side of the tractor, trying to put stuff in and out of the tractor. And if that door wasn't there, you'd be walking back and forth around the tractor. All right, let's look at the outside of this cab. This is a 4-post cab. It has a lot of glass in it. There are very few blind spots on this cab. If you look at the top up here on the front, you'll notice that there's 2 work lights on the very top of the cab, and then about midpoint of the cab, you have 2 more work lights. Also, it has a wiper on the front, and it does have washer fluid. So you can clean your windshield while you work. Closer to the front up here, you'll notice that it has mirrors. There are mirrors on both sides. There is a mirror in the cab as well. So that's worthy of notating. The back of this cab has 4 work lights on the back that's set up high, as well as a wiper, and it does have a washer fluid on it. The few things that I would say that I would like to see LS approve on would be the lighting. The lighting is quartz lighting. It's not LED lighting, and I really wish they would go to LED lighting. But that's what I have for the cab. Let's move on around the tractor. Okay, we're at the back of the tractor now. So let's just start at the top and work our way down. So it does come with this 7-pin connector, trailer connector for if you have implements that may need that. It also has the 3 remotes. We talked about that as being the standard feature. A lot of these tractors only came with 1 remote. There were a couple that came with 2, but many of them came with 1. This is not a cheap add-on. So that was an option that you could have paid for in other tractors. This 3-point system is a fairly heavy-duty system. It does have exterior cylinders. Some of the tractors are using an internal cylinder, and it's an old system. It's been around a long time. There's nothing wrong with them, but I prefer the exterior cylinders, because if you have a problem, you can take these cylinders off, take them down, and have them fixed, where you cannot do that on the interior cylinders. You'd have to take it into the dealership. They'd have to tear it apart and to get that fixed. So this is a good feature, and these are heavy duty. This area right here, this right here has a draft control on it. This is your draft system. Of course, your top linkage is hooked to that draft, and so this is where the draft is at. So that's a feature that most tractors do have, but I do want to just point it out. Moving on down a little bit further, we're going to keep going down the 3-point itself. The 3-point has these linkage arms here. These are adjustable. You have this adjustment here to adjust it, to level it out. This arm over here is adjustable, but you will have to take the pins out in order to turn this. And I believe it turns right in here. So there we have that to look at. So we need to mention this. This lever here is for the 3-point system. This lever can be used to raise the 3-point system up and down. Whenever you're hooking up implements, to be able to raise that 3-point up and down is a big deal. It helps you to get lined up and to get that implement hooked up, as well as the telescopic 3-point arms here. You have this lever here that you can push down, and it moves this out to let you help you align up to your 3-point attachment. We just started the tractor up so we could show this this lever in action and how it works and what it does. And basically, when you're hooking up an implement, if you need to move the 3-point up and down, you have the ability to do so. As you can see, it's going down now, and that will make your equipment hook up. Let's say your equipment's right there, somewhere in there. You can stop it. You bring it to a stop, and then you're able to get your pins in, and then you can actually lift it back up again. So we started the tractor up in order to show you that. Also, these stabilizers, this has a pin that you pull out and you can move it back and forth here with this stabilizer. The only thing I don't like is these are screw style, and so you have to screw this to the size you want it to be, and then you put your pin back in. Moving down a little bit further, this has a hood on it for your PTO. This is a 540, 750, and 1000 PTO. For the 540 and the 750, you can use the standard PTO shaft here, but if you're going to move it over to 1000, it did come with 1000 shaft. You have to replace that 1000 shaft. The drawbar. This drawbar is a really heavy duty drawbar. This is some looks like almost 1/2-inch steel here, maybe a little bit low, a little bit more here, and then you get into a 1-inch drawbar. Now look, some of the tractors I looked at did not have this heavy of a drawbar system. There was a couple that did, but I'm just saying that this is a heavy duty system here. Okay, so finally on the back, let's just talk about the hydraulics for a minute. There's some specs that we need to cover real quick. On the implement pump on this tractor has a 13.2 gallon per minute implement pump. It also has a steering pump, and that's a 6.6 gallon for a total of 19.8 gallons per minute on the hydraulic system. The 3-point hitch is a category 2. It has a 6,614 pound hitch capacity at the pin. 24 inches out from the pin is 4,079 pounds.
Alrighty, well, as we mentioned at the beginning of the video, this was just a walk around of the tractor just to get the outside, some of the features that are under that outside, get a look at them, get some specs on the tractor, allow you to see what this tractor is able to do. In another video, we are going to get up into the cab. We're going to go ahead and look at all of the features that it has to offer inside of the cab. But like I said, this is just a walk around of the tractor on this one today. Stay tuned for our other videos, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time, thanks.